Welcome to Hazardous Opinions. I'm Eric. There's Andy, and we're here in the studio, our new studio, which was funded by you great folk. Yeah, what do you think of the new place?
It looks good. Yeah,
Yeah, he's lying. We don't have a studio. It was all a ruse.
yes, you've been fooled. It was all in your head. We're actually not even here.
Who am I? Who are you?
You're Tyler. I'm the narrator.
I'm not Tyler. You're Tyler. If I thought of you, who am I? If
So
I'm
today
you,
we're
who are me?
covering the 1999 Fight Club by David Fincher, starring Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, and Bellatrix Lestrange.
Bellatrix, yeah, or better known
Yeah,
as
as Helena Bonham Carter.
yeah, which is surprising. We see her in not a Tim Burton film.
Indeed. I didn't recognize her for most of the film. I think it wasn't until the scene where she was like groping him from behind, groping Edward Norton. There's like, wait, is that Bellatrix? And I looked
That's
it up
a
and was,
that's a
yeah.
strange part to have that realization.
Well, it closed up, made a close up on her face, and I was like, wait a minute, like she doesn't have the long hair in this movie, but I seen like the facial structure.
I
Yeah,
suppose she was wearing sunglasses for most of the time up until this point. I'm sure.
yeah, she looked like she was withdrawing off of some shit for most of the movie.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So David Fincher is one of the best directors of all time. He did
Yes.
like Seven in Social Network or some of the big popular stuff that he's known for, which I both love. He also did he produced stuff like House of Cards, Love, Death, Robots. It's a lot of my favorite shit. David Fincher is responsible for, and now Fight Club
Yeah.
is added to that list.
He has quite the resume, and he did great with this film. I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was pretty interesting the way they told the story in this because there's a point, like a friend of mine told me that he knew that Tyler was a figment of the narrator's imagination before the movie got to that point. And you got to think like, okay, well, how could you do that? And there is like subtle hints that you could pick up throughout the movie up until that point that kind of hints towards that, but you don't know for sure. Honestly, it wouldn't be
yeah.
your first inclination throughout the movie because it just seems like such a real character outside of the narrator.
So this was my first time seeing this movie. I know I'm very late to the game,
Yeah.
but I actually had this one spoiled for me before I've even seen it. Sadly, I knew the twist, but I thought it was still cool going through it and like picking up on everything. And to me, I don't think they were subtle at all because when they said certain things, I'm like, oh, it's proof. And
Right.
but I was looking for it since I already knew.
You were
So
looking for it. If you weren't looking for it, like I wasn't the first time I've seen this, like you wouldn't have known at all. Like,
right,
yeah, Tyler Durden definitely is a character on his own, and he does it really well.
yeah. So all I knew about this movie going in was the twist. I knew nothing else about the movie, so there was still a lot of stuff that threw me off. Like
Oh
this
yeah,
intro credit sequence with all the like the blue shit and like the music, and it's just going hard. Like it
it
wasn't a
is.
subtle intro,
Yeah,
and I
no,
was like, "What is this movie gonna be?" I was expecting this to be some sort of like boxing movie based off the name, and boy was I wrong.
no, you were very wrong, and yeah, it sets the tone right from the beginning because you're strapped in your seat and you get like already thrown into this craziness with
Right.
the intro, and it's so great. It is just excitement from beginning to end.
On a side note, can I have Edward Norton just like narrate my daily life? Like him and Morgan Freeman just like got to get together for like a narration project and like
Right?
bounce back and forth. I loved his voice through this.
I am
Somewhere at
Jackson
the
pending
start,
doom. Yeah,
somewhere at the
like no,
start,
I
he's
loved
doing
it.
doing the help groups and stuff. He's like, Bob had bitch tits. He just says it so calmly as he's
Yep.
being pushed into Bob's tits, and it's
Yeah.
great.
I think that was a notion to say that he was like the first part of this movie. He's just super depressed. He's completely like
He's an
completely engrossed in
insomniac.
this realization that he is a consumer, and that's all he can do is just buy stuff. He goes to work at a job he hates. He doesn't even believe in what he does. I think he works for a major car company that he has to
Like,
investigate recalls or whatever, investigate to see if
yeah,
there's recalls or whatever.
and I
So
like the scene on the airplane where he's talking to the one lady. He's like, so our equation is like the cost of replacing the recall versus how much we get from the lawsuits, plus like the profit of the cars. There was another number, and if the lawsuits are less than what it costs to replace the parts, then we're not going to do it. We're just going to let people
yeah,
die. I
which
love
is kind
that.
of
I'm
a
like,
fucked up
that's
thing to do.
accurate.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's accurate.
Oh yeah, I bet. I mean, because like nobody's like the car companies out there aren't gonna be recalling cars for just because a few people died. That's all they are to them is just statistics.
Yes.
So a few people died in their cars. They're gonna be like, oh, should we initiate a recall? Probably not. They send this guy out there to calculate a very unlikely equation that whether they should do a recall or not. Turns out they probably shouldn't do this recall because the equation, which is already really leveraged in their favor,
Yeah. It's cheaper to get sued than replace the part.
yeah, cheaper to get sued than replace the part. So like they'll just take the lawsuit, and that's messed up. That's
Yeah.
if
It's
somebody
even
files a lawsuit. Also,
yeah. It's even more messed up when they have the scene where he's in the hangar with the burnt up car and they're analyzing it, and his coworkers are all making just sick jokes. And I get
yeah,
that in that kind of profession, you probably get some dark humor, but it was like very distasteful jokes
no,
that
they
like
were
with this
very,
burned up kid in the back seat, and you
they
can
were
tell that
very
this guy was
callous
fat
about it.
because his the way they burned up, and
That's
oh my
messed
god,
up. Yeah, no, they're definitely callous to this, and I don't think you're like the narrator makes it a statement that he doesn't believe in what he does, and he is suffering from insomnia. He never
yep,
sleeps, and I think that's how this whole thing takes off because he has such bad insomnia that he starts imagining this fictional character that starts. It's like a persona per se, I guess. So
yes,
he imagines this persona, and well, you wouldn't know until like towards the end of the movie, but for the sake of we're not going to be boys about this, and yeah, Tyler Durden is everything that he aspires to be. He wants to be more bold. He wants to be just let loose. He wants to fight somebody, and that's how he started Fight
yeah.
Club.
Wants to break free from the consumerism in his job and all that life is.
Yeah,
I thought that the practical effects and CGI in this movie were pretty decent for its age. There was one thing that took me out so hard when he's in the support groups early on. He is in the one that dreams of his happy place.
mm-hmm.
It's one of the first support groups. There was a CGI penguin in the cave. I was like, "What the fuck is that thing?" It just looks so bad. That was just
It
the one thing
started
that took me out.
talking. It sounded like a little kid. It started laughing like a little kid. That was creepy, man.
I could take it seriously, but everything else in the movie still holds up really well for its age.
Yeah.
And also, was it in that same? Maybe it was the cancer support group. Is one of those other ones. Fucking Chloe. She just wants to get laid before she dies.
I know.
She has cancer. I
She
felt
goes
so
up to
bad.
she goes up there and she's like, I have adult
I have
DVDs and I
lubricant.
have lubricants and I have anal something. What did she say?
Oh, I don't even
Man,
remember. Everyone's just like, "Thank you, Chloe," and everyone claps because she hurries and rushes her off the stage. I was thinking that Norton was going to volunteer our narrator to have sex with her or something. No, no, she just dies. It's dark. She dies later.
she did.
Yeah, it's like an offhanded comment that Marla makes. She's like, "Hey, Tyler, you haven't been going to your sessions," or I don't think she calls him by
Oh,
his name until the end. But
yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, Chloe died."
Another one of my favorite lines from her is when they were so the narrator goes to all these different support groups because he figured out the only way he could actually sleep is to cry.
Yes.
Surprisingly enough, I think it's like emotional, like deep, like emotional distress or whatever that he has no release for. I think
Mhm.
he tried to find solace in consumerism, just like trying to have the latest or the nicest furniture will make him satisfied or whatever, but it never does.
Yeah, he says he buys like every item from a catalog.
Yeah, so he looks through the catalog and has the most like niche, exotic kind of furniture. So his house is all decked out. His apartment's all decked out with all kinds of like little things. I think in he even said like with the bowls with the bubbles still in them. So it like it was made by the hardworking indigenous people of wherever. Because you don't care where it came from. You just know that it was. He's like
Just to consume.
yeah. He's like what am I thinking of?
Like a
Um,
shopaholic.
the people that actually care about organic shit or whatever.
Oh, materialistic.
Yeah, very materialistic shit like that. But
Yeah,
like,
you know, stuff that has no meaning.
yeah, but like going back to the line from Marla Senior, they were arguing about after he found out that she was a fake, like him, going to all these events.
I
They were
deserve to
arguing
belong
about.
here more than you. You still have your balls.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was. She's like, they were talking about at least I get testicular cancer. Let me have that one. And she's like, I have a more right to be there than you. You still have your balls. I thought that was great.
This is awesome. This movie, I like the fact that they acknowledge the financial part. There's so many movies where people run off and start doing things on a crazy adventure. You know, like how the fuck are they affording this?
Right?
Like someone will be like a supermarket cashier, decide to go travel the world and do something crazy. I'm like how? But they
Right.
actually show you throughout this movie how he manipulates his boss to keep his salary, and the fact that he had a really well paying job before he even starts to go off the rails.
Yeah.
And then he gets the insurance money as well from the condo.
Yeah. But like knowing that Tyler Durden is actually him and he lives in that like really decrepit house. I can understand the whole point of consumerism is like he just wanted to get rid of his old lifestyle and like adopt a new one. Oh, also, he gets all this money because he had 9 jobs. Also, originally we
Oh, did
thought
he?
Tyler had 9 jobs, but he has 9 jobs because he couldn't sleep. So all
Oh,
those jobs that he
oh yeah,
said that Tyler had, he had.
that's why he makes the soap and stuff that they acknowledge later.
Yeah, he
It
makes
was
the
a
soap.
nighttime
He
hobby.
works at the movie theater. He works as a waiter, pissing in people's soups. Yeah,
Jeez, huh? When we first meet Tyler, the imaginary Tyler, Brad Pitt. I'm just gonna call him by the actor names because they're both Tyler,
yeah,
technically.
they are.
When you first meet Brad Pitt on the airplane and he's selling this soap and stuff, and I'm like, we have the same suitcase. That should have been your first hint there. There's a little vision where Norton sees like the plane blow up. I think it's this interaction with Pitt. It's either with him or with one of the previous people he's talking to on the plane.
No, he
The
wasn't talking
plane
to
blows out.
anybody. I think it was during that montage when he was saying that he was traveling a lot. When he first started that montage where he was like traveling to LAX or
Oh
SOF,
yeah,
you know,
yep,
that's when he was saying
yeah.
like, I really wish, the plane would crash because insurance pays triple if you're die on a business trip.
Yes, I have no problem with that scene. It was good. Other than I really wish they had a headphone warning because it was a quiet scene and it went really loud. I actually had to take off my earphones. I was a little shocked by that, but it's the only like audio issue in the
Yeah,
movie with the leveling.
I was also having
Everything else is pretty good.
I was also having issues with that too. I had headphones in. I had to just adjust the volume. Luckily, I
Yeah,
was
it
holding
was,
my
it's just
phone
loud.
and was able to do that. But yeah,
Yeah, I got a little confused around this plane scene as well because he starts talking to Tyler, and it's such like an abrupt cut from the previous scenes when he was talking with Marla. I was like, is this in the future or the past? I thought maybe we like were flashing
yeah.
back to his job or something, but
I
it's
think
just
that's the
actually
point.
continuing.
I think that's the point because like there's a lot of like jumping back and forth between this between sets and settings throughout this movie, and I think that's the point because like towards the end of it, you realize that when you find out that he's started this whole terrorist organization, it was when he sleeps that he does the most of the Tyler Durden stuff.
Yes.
So like I think the first like half of it at least is supposed to like show you like his perspective on like how insomnia is making you think that like making you kind of confused on like where you are and like what you're doing.
Oh yeah,
That's just a
jumping
theory though.
around. Yeah, it's kind of like when you're driving and how you know that you were probably too tired to be driving is you kind of just arrive at your destination when you're done driving and you're like, wait, I don't even remember driving.
Yeah.
You're just there.
Yeah, no. I think that's exactly the point.
But yeah, I think that everything goes forward in time. It was just a weird cut in the movie that kind of threw me off a little bit. Other than the beginning of the movie, we start at the end, as many do, and he dialogues a little bit, and then goes back into the movie. They reference this again later at the end when we like catch up to how it started. He's like, "Oh, we're back again." He's just breaking the fourth wall as he does a few times through the movie.
Oh yeah. I think that's like him coming back to the present because I think memories and everything is all jumbled up for the narrator.
Yep, and there probably should have been another big hint as well. Is the fact that Pitt jumps in on Norton's fourth wall breaks a couple of times, like when they're in the movie theater at his movie theater job, and he's like splicing porn into the movie.
Well, I
Pitt jumps
mean,
in on a couple of his fourth wall breaks and talks to the audience.
honestly, I don't know if that's like a fourth wall break. Well, I mean, technically it is because you're talking to the audience, right? But
Yeah.
that doesn't exactly mean that that was to imply that they're the same person because if one person can do a fourth wall break, why can't another? I don't know.
Well, I think it hints at that neither of them are like, or sorry, that Pitt isn't real either because he's also in the same like headspace.
True.
I don't know because no one else in the movie can fourth wall break or like hear what he says to the audience. So
Yeah, that's true. But they are the two
when we
like main characters.
yeah we jump into that movie theater scene and it's just immediately like to penis like it transitions. It's like okay, now they're going to the movie theater job, and the first shot when they go there is just a man with his dick out, and
What?
then it cuts. It pulls back a little bit. It's like a half-second scene. It's like barely in there, and then Pitt starts talking about how he splices a little bit of porn into a family movie. That happens like I think once or twice else in the movie. There was like a quick scene of something that you can barely catch. I never pause it to go back,
Oh
but
yeah.
I did see that first one.
I wasn't
It
even
just
paying
caught me off
attention,
guard. I was like,
dude.
"What the fuck?" But it's enough to make you know you saw it. Like he narrates that he's
That was, yeah,
like
that's the
everyone
point.
knows what they saw, but they can't say
No,
anything 'cause it was so quick. Like, what are they going to do?
no,
Acknowledge it?
he actually said that nobody knew what they saw. Like it was so quick that nobody knew what they saw.
But they knew, but they didn't know. Like the kid starts crying in the audience.
Yeah, they know,
Like
but they don't
it's fucked
actually
up.
know.
The wife was looking at the husband in one of the shots, and it
It
was just
was
like
just,
you heard
it
like
was
a
so
split
funny.
second of moan as well.
It was like opera music, and they're like, so I'm like, ah, and then it's just it cuts back to it. God, that was so good.
It's amazing. And this movie continues the trend, or I suppose is earlier in Pitt's career. Maybe it started the trend of Brad Pitt eating in every single fucking movie he's in. He's
He's eating.
yeah, it's just a thing. Like watch Brad Pitt in movies. He's always eating, like actually eating, not like fake food. When Norton is calling him to ask him to go to the bar after his condo
Oh,
blows
yep,
up, you can
yeah.
hear him munching on the phone.
He was just eating chips or something.
Right.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. Uh, this movie is really fucking gross, by the way. Like,
It
it just
is.
makes you feel icky throughout most of the movie. Like the house they're living in, there's so many shots of just like dirty water, him brushing his teeth with it. Oh, the fat scene when they're stealing fat from the medical center
And then it
and it
like,
bursts open and leaks all over him.
oh, that was really gross.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
so very grotesque.
yeah. They don't shy away from all the blood in the fight scenes either.
No, I was like just cringing through through a lot of these scenes, like especially just around the house. I felt nasty, like I need a shower after.
Right? And they had some weird thing with like cutting balls off.
Yeah, what was his obsession with
It's
that? Is it
like,
because of the testicle,
I don't,
the cancer feeding
maybe,
thing?
but like
Like,
the first thing with it was when they threatened that politician to not, maybe it was the commissioner of the police or something, but like
yeah, to not pursue them.
not pursue them, and then he threatened to cut his balls off. And then the
Puts
next
a rubber
part
band
where
around it.
the cops were actually in on it. So
Yep.
like towards the end of the movie, like, when the narrator, like when the things getting out of control, they actually start this fight club turns into an army because
Yep.
they like
Turns into an
they believe in
anarchist.
this thing that's greater than themselves, which is, half noble,
Project
half
Mayhem.
fucking psychotic, but Project Mayhem. So they start recruiting people, which what started as a thing that they did every Saturday night turned into like this militaristic, like army type shit where people would stand outside of their house and like wait to be accepted or something.
Yeah, they had to like wait 3 days, and if they made it through all the insulting and just standing out there for 3 days, then they could join.
Yeah, with like 3 days without like eating or drinking, which I don't know if is possible or not.
Might get a
Like,
little
I
tired.
feel like you go, I mean, how long do you go without drinking water, without before dying? I don't know if it's 3 days. I know eating you can go a lot longer, but like I don't know
A
about,
week, maybe a week or two, week and a half.
you can go a week and a half without drinking water.
Maybe not that long, but there's the movie 127 Hours. I think he is stuck in there without water. No, it's a true story.
No, he had water. He just had to make it last. I remember that was like a major point through that because that was the movie where he was stuck with between a rock or whatever, right? That was that movie
Yes,
with
sorry, with Franco.
James Franco. Yeah,
Only a
he
few
had
days
water
without
though.
water. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
only a few days. So maybe not eating, but maybe they
yeah,
drank water.
probably
I don't
still
know.
drank out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crazy movie
But like
overall.
either way, like the point is you got to stand out there and just like, withstand all these insults that they're saying, and after 3 days you're in, which is fucking crazy to me. I no wonder these guys are just
But they were also
talkers.
all like previous Fight Club members. They weren't
Yeah,
like just
but
people from the street. So
how dedicated do you have to be to this idea of Fight Club to be doing this shit? You know? I mean, Fight Club, I mean, I don't know.
well, apparently
It
Tyler is
looked
just
it
quite the charismatic guy.
I suppose. And obviously because he started like a nationwide movement, he later finds out that it was like there's fight clubs start cropping up in different cities or whatever, and all these men are starting their own fight clubs, and these cells are able to work independently without any central leadership, which is very
Yeah,
impressive, by the
without
way.
even knowing who Tyler is. Like a lot of them said, we haven't even seen the guy before.
Yeah, and they are dedicated their lives to this idea, which is fucking
Yes.
nuts.
I have a question for you. So
Yeah.
Marla and is never in the same room with both Tyler or with both Pitt and Norton at the same time. Like they specifically address that,
Mm.
but Bob is quite a few scenes. And I'm wondering who he thinks. Like, is everyone in Project Mayhem aware that Tyler's just a fucking loon, or like especially the car driving scene after he beats the shit out of Blondie, and then he takes the car and then he goes and crashes it. Pitt is driving and Norton's in the passenger seat, and then Bob and the one guy are in the back, and Pitt and Norton are just having a whole argument, and I wonder what they see there.
Well, I'm assuming. I mean, it has to be just Norton. I
Yeah,
mean,
but he
because
sees himself in the passenger seat in there. So there's just so
right,
much I have questions for.
but he already said when Pitt revealed himself to be not real. He told him that when he was talking to the rest of them, like he imagined
Mm-hmm.
him himself, like I want to say it's like astral projection or whatever.
Yeah. That acknowledges like when one was talking, but like when both of them are talking to the group at the same time. There's like one or two scenes with that.
I don't
It's
know. That
I
would
wonder how
be
they
that's
explain
that's
that.
interesting. Like, I wonder if he was just sitting there arguing with himself.
Yeah, in the driver's seat, and everyone they're just fucking like, what the hell is going on?
Well, all they're doing back there is like, first rule of Project Mayhem is you don't ask questions. Like, that's all they're saying. So I wouldn't doubt if they were just
Yeah,
talking to
just
him as he's just losing his mind in the
yeah.
driver's seat.
Hmm.
So I mean, because they were just so droned out. These soldiers were it's like it's weird because it's almost like Tyler wanted to teach them to be an independent thinker, but also when you see these guys, they do not seem like they have an independent thinking brain cell at all because they just do whatever Tyler says, and then the opposite whenever he tells them that. Because he predicted what he was gonna say, and they're like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
you said you
you
were gonna
said you
say
would
that
say
shit.
that.
You said you would say that," and it's like they just go with it with no question. So I
Yep.
don't know. I find it strange.
Well, this week's assignment is to enjoy these ad breaks. Enjoy.
Don't skip them.
Our gift to the world.
Look around, better look around. I see a lot of new faces. Shut up! Which means a lot of you have been breaking the first two rules of Fight Club. Man, I see in Fight Club the strongest and smartest men who've ever lived. I see all this potential, and I see it squandered. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, Working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives. We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. And we're very, very pissed off.
Welcome back to Fight Club. Oh shit, I talked about it. So
Yeah.
I lied.
You
This week's
violated the
assignment-
first 2 rules.
This week's assignment is actually to go pick a fight with a stranger and lose.
Yeah, which is harder than you think.
Yeah.
Most people actually do everything they can to avoid a fight, and I am one of them. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
I'm not gonna go beat somebody up just because they sprayed me with water or pushed me or some shit. I'm like, dude,
Exactly.
I'm just trying to get home, bro. What are you trying to do?
I thought all of these were very realistic. The little scenes of different people trying to start a fight. And I was like, yeah, if I was any of those people, I probably wouldn't hit them either.
I wouldn't want
Just
to
be like, what the
fucking
fuck,
fight
guy?
Yeah, not because I was afraid of him. I just don't want to be in a fight. Like, sorry, I just don't want to.
The fucking places to be.
Yeah, I don't even want to involve myself with that.
Right. The guy spraying the hose, he tries like 8 different people. Before it's the pastor is the one that finally fucking fights him.
The
great.
pastor of all people.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought like when they go back to the fight club, there's a whole bunch more people. The pastor was one of the new people at one of the fights.
Oh,
So I
that's
think they
very
recruited
likely.
him.
Yeah,
It looked like the same guy.
that's funny too. Like, what would a pastor want to be doing at a fight club?
He's like, did you like that? Did you like hitting me? Well, you should join my club.
Yeah, but then he
Yeah.
just violated the rule. Tyler Durden
Yes.
points this out too. He's like, I'm seeing a lot of new faces, and they all cheer, and he's like, shut up.
Well, you fucked up.
Yeah, it means you've been violating the first 2 rules of Fight Club. And
How do
then,
you recruit new people if you can't talk about it?
well, I don't think he was planning on recruiting new people, but I think that's just how it happened. Because, like, they never really actively recruited people, about Fight Club. It was like they saw
No, it
him
was just
fighting
people that
outside,
seen it.
and then
Yeah.
somebody comes up is like, "Can I be next?" It's like, okay, you're fucking nuts, first of all.
Well,
but
in the reality, he's seen Tyler beating the shit out of himself in the empty parking lot. I love that we come back to that and they actually showed us.
with that context, right? Like, how awkward would that be? Somebody walking up and then just being like, "Can I be next?" They're like, "Yeah, sure."
Right, yeah. Tyler's a really good fucking fighter. He gets his shit kicked out of him a couple times. But if you take into account that he's both Pitt and Norton, he wins most of his fights. And he's a pretty
He does.
scrawny guy.
Yeah.
Because anytime Pitt fights, he crushes people. And that's technically Norton as well. So
It's all that
Norton's body.
pent up anger from losing his apartment and everything he owns. He's mad at
Yeah.
society. He hates society.
Indeed. Good old taxi driver.
Yeah.
So when Tyler starts recruiting his army there, they get the first guy, which I really liked. He didn't flinch at all. He just stayed out there 3 days. Bob was immediately ready to give up. And Tyler had to break character to be like, Bob, it's okay, just stand out here for 3 days.
One
He
of
started
these
calling
guys-
him a fatty, and he's like, go home.
One of these
He
guys
started walking
was Jared Leto.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it the blonde guy?
No, it was the. Oh, never mind.
Jared Leto would have been
Face.
pretty.
Whoever Angel
young.
Face is Jared Leto. I think that's
That was
the blonde guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I thought he seemed familiar, but I didn't know who he was. I was gonna comment, they all get their heads shaved when they join Project Mayhem, but Bob and Blondie didn't have to shave. Those are the only 2 that got exceptions.
Oh,
Because Blondie is so beautiful, I guess they
I suppose so. Yeah, you don't have to shave. Even
Bob
Tyler
England just
shaved
loves
his
Bob.
head, or Brad Pitt shaved his head
Yeah.
towards the end of it. Didn't he grow a mustache too?
What the hell? That was fucking Tyler. Or Jared Leto.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
you didn't recognize
huh.
him.
I thought he was familiar. I just couldn't point him out. He looks different. He's
He
a very
definitely
beautiful
does.
man.
Yeah,
And Tyler did want to ruin something beautiful. And that was one of the most sad scenes in the whole movie for me. He
yeah,
beat the shit out of Blondie to the point you couldn't recognize his face anymore.
yeah. No,
That was bad.
that was really bad.
I was like, oh my god, is he fucking dead? And you see him later and he's still alive. And you just, half of his face is just incomprehensible.
Yeah, he did survive it. I thought he was gonna die at that point.
Yeah, it was a lot of blood.
Yeah, but he did survive it, and you see him later on in the film when he was
Yeah.
talking to him about Project Mayhem. He's like, "Sir, first rule about Project Mayhem is you don't ask questions." And then like
He's
he
like,
has
sir,
like
don't worry about those
fucking-
plans. We got it.
yeah, yeah, and half of his face is just swollen and shit, and he's got is
Yeah.
very sad to
It
see.
looks like fucking Pinkman
Yeah.
after he gets beat up like 3 different times.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you have this fight club, but I mean, it's on a concrete floor, and your only rule is, no shirt, or no shoes, because like
Yeah.
it's like that's just
Fight until
asking
they give up.
for. Yeah, no, like if this was a real thing, there would be so many injuries, man.
Right. And what's his name? Tyler actually gets his ass kicked in one of the fights where the black guy is beating him up.
Yeah,
And I can't remember if he like was kicking his face or something like that, but he was really beat up too. And I since I knew that Tyler wasn't, or that Brad Pitt was in his head, I thought that was going to give him some like brain damage after the fight. Something was going to
yeah.
happen with that, but he recovered from it. So
If anything, that just made him lose his mind even more,
yeah, he has
'cause it was all
constantly
downhill
has
from there.
injuries for like throughout the movie. Like his
Yeah.
face is always cut up and beat up.
Like he's sitting in the meeting and he's like, "You liked it, didn't you?" And then he just shows his mouth is just full of blood. He's like, "You can swallow
That
a
was
pint
so
of blood
weird.
before you get sick." It's like, okay, you know that from experience. I believe that because that was so much
His-
blood.
His teeth were so fucked up. I think not only from the fighting, but washing his teeth, because he was brushing his teeth constantly with that dirty water.
Gross.
Yeah, I bet he has some oral diseases.
Yeah, that couldn't be
Nasty.
good at all.
So you
Well,
you
like,
brought up
when you
earlier.
first- Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say you brought up earlier the obsession with stealing people's testicles.
Yeah.
I was so afraid that I was sitting up like, please do not show me this. I feel like the movie's
Oh,
gonna go there.
No.
They had him strapped down to the table while the one detective that wasn't part of the cult was out, and they're like, get his balls. You said you would say that, sir. And they actually get the fucking rubber band out. Oh my god, I'm like, they're actually gonna cut his fucking balls off.
They did the same thing with that politician too. They strapped the rubber band on him and shit.
Yeah, but since they were threatening him, I knew that they weren't gonna hurt him, or else that kind of ruins their threat. But they were actually gonna fucking do it to Tyler.
Oh my god.
They were ready to go.
What would you do if they did show it though? Would you just hold your balls and brace yourself? It's just like, I don't know what I would
let
do.
out a little squeal.
I would lose my shit. I'd feel for him. That would be horrible.
It would definitely change the last act of this movie.
Yeah.
If he like
It
escaped
would,
after
too.
that.
He wouldn't have the balls to shoot himself in the head.
And he finally gets to go to the support group at the end then. To like the testicle cancer support group.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he doesn't have his balls anymore. They both can go.
Yep. That would be a sweet ending. Alternate
Yeah.
ending idea.
Alternate ending, yeah. David, if you're listening, give us a director's
So
cut.
Fincher likes these like graphic slow motion scenes and like suicides in his movies. So he had at the end, Norton and Pitt are fighting, and he's like, "Wait, the gun's in my hand all along because I'm me." And
Yeah.
he's just like he's thinking it out and realizing it, and he fucking shoots himself through the cheek. And I was like, "Oh, did he just botch the suicide?" But it actually worked. It got rid of Brad Pitt. So
Yeah. I am not entirely sure how realistic that is. Did he intentionally shot himself through the cheek, right? Or I thought it was a botched suicide also.
Thinking back on it, I think it was intentional to live.
Okay.
Like he purposely put it towards his cheek. At first I thought he fucked it up. I'm like, how did you think that would kill you? You put it through your cheek. And it was a slow motion, and I didn't realize it went through his cheek at first. You just see his whole face light up with the gunpowder and the explosion of the bullet.
That was a cool
and then
little
the bullet
scene.
comes out the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just like, what the fuck? That was a dark ending. And he was still alive.
Yeah, it was funny because like do you remember how fucked up his voice was after that?
Yeah, and then he like coughed and he was kind of like better. He started talking like normal again.
He's like, "I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm all good."
Don't worry about it. It's like he's got the
like,
smoker hole in his neck.
I'm fine. It's fine. I'm good.
He's like, "You really don't look okay, sir."
It's like, don't worry about it.
It's fucking bleeding. Yeah, non-lethal though. I mean, you don't need your cheeks, I guess.
Non-lethal suicide.
But yeah, he killed Brad Pitt there. And then you get this scene of them holding hands, just watching everything.
Yeah.
It's great.
All the credit card companies getting destroyed. Honestly, did they think that the whole like net zero thing by destroying the headquarters of these credit card companies would work? Because like it's not like these buildings get destroyed and all of a sudden the whole company is liquidated. Like it's just gone.
Right, because this is 1999. I think the movie takes place at the same time it was made.
Yeah.
So there's computers.
There is computers.
And he even works on a computer actually in a couple of his scenes. So they probably have backups somewhere. Unless these were like server headquarters, but
I mean, then like
impression that this was happening all over the globe. Like this wasn't just here because he has like the cults all over the U.S.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe it was like a mass terrorist attack.
If that was the case, that'd be kind of cool. I'd be if all my credit card debt was just gone. Like that'd be kind of cool, but it just didn't seem realistic, you know.
Yeah, no, but I don't think anyone really was, I don't know, fully thinking it through. I mean,
I'm probably the only one thinking of.
They're just creating mayhem, really.
Yeah. No, they are at war with commercialization and consumerism.
Right. Like one of their missions was rolling a statue through a Starbucks. So
yeah, we're doing two birds with one stone. Yeah. Oh yeah, I have another comment.
His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson. But there was another part where he was like looking for Tyler, right? And he goes to a bar and he sees a bunch of dudes like chefs in the kitchen.
Yep.
And then they're just repeating it to themselves. It was Robert Paulson.
I was like, how did this chant spread across the U.S.? You guys have like radios communicating
what are they
with each other?
doing? They just stop at the kitchen. They just crowd around each other, and they're just like, "His name is Robert Paulson."
Robert Paul. And the one guy with the head bracket, we assume he probably got into a pretty bad fight. He was all fucked up. Like the head chef guy, he was the only one that they actually broke the rule of Project Mayhem.
Yeah,
and finally told Tyler who he was.
Yeah,
which spurs us into that finale.
Asking him several times if this was a test, and he just believed it wasn't a test. After he just trusted what he said, he's like, "You're Tyler Durden. You're Mr. Durden." And then that's when all hell broke loose.
I feel like even before that, like I can't say because I haven't seen this movie unspoiled, but like so many people are calling him Sir throughout the movie, especially like more close to the end. That I feel like you'd probably know before this reveal.
Yeah, but then again, like he was also like co-founder, right? So like, why wouldn't he be in a position of power?
From his conversation with Bob, it didn't seem like people knew he was a co-founder because Bob was like, yeah, do you know the guy who made Fight Club? Like when they're having that conversation on the street, and they were like, yeah, I'm in the same club too. Look at my face. He's like, yeah, do you know this guy that created the Fight Club? He's like apparently like been in an institution since he was young and something
Oh,
something. He goes off about his history, and he's like, yeah, he must be a legend. I want to meet him. So he
yeah,
kind of
but
like makes it
Bob.
seem like no one even knows that Tyler is the creator.
Yeah, but he also didn't even know that he joined. As far at it was at this point that Tyler
It was
didn't.
just Fight Club.
It was just Fight Club on Saturday nights, but then
Yep.
Bob all of a sudden shows up, says he goes there Tuesdays and Thursday nights, but
Yeah.
he never even seen him at Fight Club or would know who he was anyways,
Yep.
whether if it was, Brad Pitt or Edward Norton, he wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah, and I guess he might have known that the name Tyler was a creator, but he thought the actual Tyler, Edward Norton, was not Tyler because he goes by a fake name in the group,
Yeah,
the
because
group
he goes
therapy.
as Cornelius in his group.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Huh. I like
yeah.
the little cutoff early in the movie as well to hide his name. He because he must know his name at some point, or I guess this is before we met Brad Pitt, but he is talking to Marla, and they exchange phone numbers, and she runs across the street, and she's like, wait, you never told me your name. And then a bus rolls past, and it cuts the scene.
Oh
So
yeah.
you got the impression that he told her that his name is
No,
Tyler, and then he
he
just
didn't.
forgets later.
He didn't tell her anything because it's like, is your name really any Cornelius or Roford or any of these other names that you put at these meetings? And then the
Yeah,
bus goes past and then she's gone, and
yeah.
he was like confused on where she went because she was just gone after that. So like, I don't think that he actually told
Well,
her what. Because
it like cuts the next scene as the bus went.
as far as Marla knew, his name was Tyler. Because like, remember when he was freaking out and asking her what his name was, and she's like, Tyler Durden, Tyler Durden, your name's Tyler Durden.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I think that he told her at that point because this was before we even met Brad Pitt. So maybe he still knew his name back then.
Oh, maybe.
Like,
Yeah, I don't
like,
know.
did he? Do you think he lived his whole life without knowing his name, and then just probably just forgot it? I think because of this.
Because of
I
the
don't know.
insomnia, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know if that would be enough to make him not remember his name, though. I think
But
he just
like,
has like a false sense of
he's in
identity.
his 30s, so like, yeah, yeah. I think is DID is kind of depicted in this. Obviously, like an extreme version of dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah.
But he knew his
Like,
name, I think, before he met Brad Pitt.
I think he just, like, maybe he just doesn't care about his identity so much that he just doesn't. Yeah. Like, he almost seems like he like, because at the first part of the movie, all he described himself as is just the average consumer, always buying
Yes.
the furniture and stuff like that. And then as the movie goes on, he doesn't really describe himself as Tyler, but he keeps describing himself as nobody special, the all dancing, all singing crap of the earth or whatever. So like, yeah, it's just like having no identity is his identity, I guess.
Indeed.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not, so and so. I'm just human. I'm
Yeah,
just
because
the
he's
same
he's
as
just another
everyone
average
else.
consumer.
Yep. Which,
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know. Depending on who you are, is kind of a freeing in a sense. If you're just like a normal ass person, there's no pressure to do anything, I'm, all singing, all dancing crap of the earth. Why does it matter if I, keep my grades up or whatever? I don't know. Keep your grades
Right.
up, kids. Don't listen to me. But you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. His name was Robert Paulson.
His name was
Meatloaf.
Robert Paulson.
Rest in peace, Meatloaf.
Yeah. I can't believe the guy's name is Meatloaf.
Yeah, he just died this year, or it's 2023 now. He died last year, technically.
Oh. Wow, I
He
didn't
was
know that.
he's in a lot of good stuff. I like him in Rocky Horror Picture Show. He's good. His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson.
But yeah, overall, this movie rated really high for me. I'd say it's like an 8.9-ish for me, like just bordering on a 9. There's a couple segments towards the middle when he's just around the house and he's kind of like upset at Tyler or upset at Pitt. They get a little slow, but this movie overall is really entrancing. It just keeps you along with the story.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely a solid 9 for me. I've watched this movie plenty of times. I'll watch it when I'm bored just because it just gives me, I don't know, some things to think about, I guess.
Indeed.
Like the philosophy that he brings are things that I like to think about, but also not to go to the extreme as this movie takes it. But it's just it's more of a Zen philosophy, I guess. Just let go, but not so much that you crash your car and endanger everybody.
Yeah, and Bob and the other guy just walk out fine.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
Another scene, sorry, before we get out of here. The lye scene on his hand when it's burning through his hand and gives him the scar, the exact same scar that Brad Pitt has.
Mm-hmm.
That scene was hard to watch. Like the detail of it eating away the skin.
Oh, man.
Ugh.
Yeah. That was rough. Yeah, I don't know how bad a lye chemical burn would be, but like I'm guessing it would just burn, right? It'd be the same as like fire, like a blowtorch to your palm.
Chemical burns are worse, or maybe it's fire. One of them lingers, like, and you get like phantom pain. I don't know.
Oh wow!
Yeah, or I guess I know like certain degrees of burns, you start to like it just hurts. I don't know. I can't describe the pain. I've never received it, but the way they described the chemical burn in the movie sounded fucking horrendous.
Yeah,
the worst pain you'll ever feel.
That was rough, and it just shows how crazy Tyler is, and with the chemical burns and the car crashing, all that shit, it was just bad news bears. If you have any respect for Tyler Durden.
Indeed. So that's all I got for Fight Club 1999, the day of our Lord, me.
Yeah, same here.
It's a fucking amazing movie.
You watching anything else?
Yeah, I was going to ask you what's on your current watch list. I'm watching through Alice in Borderland right now.
Okay.
And I just finished Glass Onion last night, actually. The second Knives Out movie.
Yeah, another Edward Norton movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah. I seen him in that. I'm like, bro, I just seen you like yesterday. That's crazy.
Nice. Yeah. So good.
It was really good.
I love those Knives Out movies. I don't think I'll ever if they come out with another one next year, I don't think I would be like, oh, it's another Knives Out movie. It's like something to get excited about. Like, I really hope they keep this as a trend,
Like Blanc is just amazing. Like Daniel Craig, just as an actor in general, is entrancing. Like you're just staring into his eyes for most of the movie. I'm like, God, you have such blue eyes.
Right?
But he just has a way, Benoit Blanc, with
Yeah, it's nice to
keeping
see him
you
other than
hooked.
007, which I think he enjoys these roles more than 007,
Yeah,
honestly.
he looks like he's having a blast, and I love the movie. So maybe that's something
Yeah,
we'll have to cover is go through the Knives Out.
absolutely. Yeah, I'll be excited for it.
What about you? What's on the now playing for you?
I'm still watching through Sopranos. I think I'm on season 4 now. Yeah, season 4 of Sopranos, and I watched The Man from Uncle just earlier today. Actually, that
Hmm.
was pretty good.
Is that
That's Henry
what's?
Cavill in it.
Oh,
Yeah, he plays as this spy like person, like, but he's not like an actual spy, but he acts like a spy. He does like a lot of espionage stuff. He's actually everything he's doing is illegal, and is during the World War II era, like right after World War II ended. So
yep.
Nazi Germany is still a thing, and the the Red Menace is also a thing. I don't know when the whole communist hysteria started actually, so I don't know if it was before or after that or during it. I know it was during it because there's a lot like of Russia stuff involved. But
I got some good
pretty good
actors
movie.
in here. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Is
It's
that one on Netflix?
it's also like another kind of cheesy. They got a lot of cheesy, funny lines on like action movie stuff. I watched it on HBO Max. I don't know if it's on Netflix. I doubt it's on Netflix if it's on HBO Max, but that's
Okay.
where I watched
I'll have
it.
to add it to my list. He's quickly becoming one of my top actors. Like I like him in the Mission Impossible Fallout. He's really good there.
Yeah, he wasn't in that long though. Wasn't he in like
No,
one scene?
I think he's just in some of the middle
He was in
stuff.
one scene in the bathroom, the fight scene in the bathroom, where he like fucking shotgun loaded his shoulders or some shit.
But he's good. He's suave.
Yeah,
I
he
like
is.
him. I'd like to see him in more spy stuff. I think getting out of the Superman role is good for him for his career.
Well, it's not a new movie. It's actually pretty like old. I want to say
It's 2015 for Man from
2015.
Uncle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
pre
is pretty
Justice
good
League,
though.
but
So,
it's still good.
yeah,
Indeed. Yeah. So we have actually our special guest episode up next.
yeah. You're gonna have to wait and see who it is because that's a top secret.
Yeah, but what's not top secret is the movie we're watching,
And that
which
is
is I'll send
The
it up for you.
Matrix.
It is The Matrix.
The the Matrix. We're doing it's a
Air,
1999
air
kind of month.
horns. Yeah. We're sticking with the best year of all years,
Yeah,
as Prince and Barnes Courtney agree that 1999 is the greatest.
yeah, and we're doing a great movie from that era. A lot of great CGI. I think it still holds the bar for CGI films till this day.
Indeed, this is another one that I sadly have had on my list for a very long time that I haven't seen, so it'll be new
Oh,
to
that's
me.
right. You haven't seen it. I can't believe it. Honestly,
It'll be good.
I've
I'm
been
excited. I hope this is a new favorite for me.
I've been calling you Mr. Anderson for all these years, and you had no idea what I was talking about.
Not a clue.
That's
Thought it was
crazy.
just a play on my name.
I just thought you were just letting me say it like Mr. Anderson, and then you're like, yeah, okay. No idea what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, but yeah, as soon as you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Yeah, so look forward to The Matrix coming later this month. And our new game, just freshly released in 2022, High on Life. Or not our game, but Squanch Games from Justin
Yeah,
Roiland. the creator of Rick and Morty. So it's going to be a hilarious time. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Did you did a new season of Rick and Morty come out recently?
Season 6 dropped. Was it last April already? I think it's been out for a little while. So I'm a little behind. I'm only on 5.
There is 6 seasons. Why did I just see a clip earlier on like TikTok or whatever of part of an episode that I've never seen before? Did I just not see season 6? No, this came out in September of last year.
Oh, so decently recent.
Pretty recent.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're on Hulu premium, like it's not the normal Hulu or something. I just know that they're hard to watch. So like it was on a service I didn't have, so it takes me a while to get to those.
Yeah, I think I know they're on HBO Max.
Yeah. Indeed, but yeah, High on Life. If you like the Rick and Morty content, it is exactly that, but for like 6-7 hours instead.
It's a good time,
and they can go a little more off the rails given the form of the media. So
yeah, it's very aware of itself. It breaks the fourth wall and is a great time all throughout.
Indeed. Well, that's all I have.
Yep, me too.
Alrighty, see you guys next time.
Adios.